Hey guys, how's it going? Preparing here. So today I played my first day of ArcheAge, and I'm going to tell you guys about it. I'm not going to give you guys the, Crip's first impression of whatever game, which I usually do after about a week or so, or after I realize the game sucks. Which, well, fortunately, I have not realized this game yet. ArcheAge is an MMO. It's a lot like every other MMO that you played, but in some aspects it's unlike a lot of other MMOs. And so far, I've played the game for about 8 hours, and during those 8 hours, I managed to hit level 20. The level cap is 50. There's a lot of dynamics of the game, and a lot of people think that the questing and all that stuff in every MMO is pretty much the same, and it's really boring and all that. And well, I didn't really find it that way. I know a lot of people who were watching the stream, they found it a little boring, but from my perspective of things, the flow was really good. Maybe the first 2 hours or maybe 3. I was a little bit disoriented on where the quests were trying to lead me, but after you play the game just for a little while, you kind of get how it's set up, how it's structured, and trust me, I'm not the fastest learner, so I was able to grasp it pretty well, and I feel, I kind of know how the game works. The questing is pretty cool, the class system is pretty cool. It's a little bit imbalanced, at least in the early game, but I don't really feel that has anything to do with anything. I mean, yeah. Certain builds for leveling, which have no relevance to the end game, are going to be different. But playing through the game, it's really important to see that it's polished, and I feel that it is, and it's really important to see that there is enough complexity and enough uniqueness to each character. So the game kind of works so you have 3 of a set number of builds, and you kind of combine these. But the skill points that you have to assess, your build within these 3 is actually very limited. So it's kind of like the Path of Exile model where you want to get everything, but you can't. So you have to make very tough decisions. You have to play a class, and you have to play a certain way that essentially you design. And you can respec in this game, but there's a lot of things that make it so it's a little bit punishing, at least at the start. And I have realized a lot of the complexity, just going through and doing some of my very elementary quests. I noticed, while I'm doing a quest near a pond or something, this giant ship just comes through and, it's ridiculous. The game is set up that, you have the opportunity to put like your houses, your castles, move your ships around, you get like, vehicles and that kind of stuff. And it really makes it so people who are really invested into it, who really put a lot of time towards getting some really cool stuff, they can get it and they can show it off. And I have to say that out of the MMOs that I've played in the last little while I haven't experimented with the end game, I do like it the most so far. And this is putting it above games like Guild Wars, putting it above games like Mists of Pandaria, and it goes without saying, putting it above Final Fantasy XIV. So pretty good stuff. Actually, out of those, those weren't even my favorite one. My favorite MMO that I've played in the last 2 years is actually Neverwinter. Right before it got pretty much owned by the pay-to-win aspect kind of going full swing, and then the bans, and then the auction house crashing, and then more bans, and yeah. But the game itself, pretty good stuff, and I think this might even be above that, just from the limited experience, the limited time that I have played it. So in the game right now, I'm playing kind of like the warrior role, something like that. And the damage is a little bit lower than some of the ranged, but some of the late game cooldown cycling features, triggering from parries, triggering from dodges, triggering from crits, there's opportunity to have a very complex and a very powerful build. And this type of stuff makes it so I really want to see what this will be like, and the motivating factor to go through the quests, which really aren't that boring, that punishing. It makes this experience very easy. So I'll be playing it for the next few days at the very least, and the only thing that I really have on my mind is that with an MMO this complex, where it's you try to figure it out and you try to go through the game and try to experience as much as you can, it's set up so that if it's in the alpha stage too long and I play it too much, I would have essentially experienced the game all over before it's even released. So I may put a stop to the game just so I can really experience it as everyone else does on release, if I feel like I'm a bit too invested. And this is something I haven't really done in the past, but I have to say that I'm really looking forward to a game I can play for a long while, and from the little experience, the little time I've spent playing it, and the feedback from others, you know, makes it on some level a bit optimistic. So it's pretty good stuff. I hope you guys enjoy watching, and you know, maybe in a short while I'll show you guys some of the cool stuff I've done in the game. So until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow.